out this morning kind of like this. I've got a lot of stuff going on for me today, so we're going to kind of go to a live that's a little more, that doesn't take so much time to set up and do whatever I need to do. So it's great to see you guys. We got Samantha, Linda, Sonia, good morning. Eeyore Blues, Tracy. Did I say hi to you, Linda? I think I did. But I Phoenix Moon. I meant to say hi to you, Phoenix. It's been a little while. Bobby, it's nice to see you. True Crime Junkies up in the house. Melanie, Suddenly Sally. Aw, Melanie, for the cuss jar from last night. Oops, did I do that? Oh, me and you, Lisa B. Always, it's nice to see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Who else do we have up here? I think I said hi to everybody so far. Denise, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Halston, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Carla, Jen, Dawn, good morning. Tina, it's nice to see you. Love Bug, Lisa C, April from Illinois. Hello, hello. Shauna, Abigail, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Mom first, always. Ooh, I got to sneeze. Ooh, I feel it coming on. Ooh, I feel it coming on. Hold on. Whew. It's coming. It's going to hit me right when I don't want it to hit me. Melody, it's nice to see you. Detective Whiskers. Karen Powers. Karen Witt. Good morning. We got a lot of Karens. Good morning. Gigi for Life. It's nice to see you. YouTuber, good morning. Aw, thanks for the party hat, Love Bug. Angel, it's nice to see you. Perfect Pun. Ginny, it's nice to see you. Stephanie, good morning. Treese, it's nice to see you. West Virginia Holla Girl. Patricia, good morning. Wheezy Girl. Maki Girl, it's nice to see you. And Cinda, it's nice to have you as well. We got Travis. Hi, my friend. Your friend Travis Hughes. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Magic Star, good morning. Good morning. So, I have been covering this case, not literally from day one, but we did kind of get involved, I want to say, like March 5th or 6th or somewhere around there. It was just a few days into this case of these missing children, and it started making and garnering a lot of support here in the United States. And so I started looking into the case, and you know, it's hard because we do this so much that it always feels like it's the same story, just different faces. And so I try to not be not to be biased by that, because statistically, thank you, Phoenix Moon, God bless you, thank you for that, thank you for becoming the newest member of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Welcome to grab your straight jacket and your padded room. I don't have my button today, so I have to manufacture all the sounds. Oh, good gracious. It's going to be a day. It's going to be a day. Good morning, Kendra. It's nice to see you. Patty Lee, good morning. Good morning. Anybody else has come in that I haven't called your name, good morning to you as well. So we started getting involved in this case, and we learned it's really weird. Oh, Melody gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership, and Abigail, you received the Bullhorn Betty membership. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room. That was flat. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room. Here, grab this. No, good morning. Good morning, Christy. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. And Karen, I see you sneaking in here. It's nice to see you all. So, it's one of the first things I noticed is the way that mainstream media in Canada, like, they don't use proper keywords. Listen to me. They don't use proper keywords. It sucks researching in Canada. I gotta tell you, they don't use anybody in the name. So trying to find interviews with Dan Martell, or Malehya, it's just it's just I don't know. I digress. Anyways, what are we talking about today? So many of you guys know that Lilly and Jack. Let me turn the camera this way so we can get out of it. Lilly and Jack have been missing since May 2nd, 2025, just this year. They have now been officially missing for 20 full days. They have not been seen or heard. About day 4 or 5, law enforcement started saying that they do not believe these children are alive for a variety of reasons. Whatever those reasons are, they told the public that it was simply because the terrain as well as the weather is contributing to that designation, that the children would not be able to survive that. So they're working on, that's why they said they were scaling back the search, was because the urgency there to find the children alive were no longer there, because they don't believe the children are alive. So they scaled it back just for a few days just to ramp it back up. And so far, they still haven't found anything associated with either one of these children. So we're now starting to look at the parents. We're now starting to look at, we still want information about the house party or who may have gone there. Now, I know we have some content creators in the state of Canada that could, or the state of Canada, in the country of Canada, that could, start trying to get some information out to the rest of the true crime community, because I've got to be honest with you, this is pretty tough. We have searching issues. I'm trying to prepare a timeline. I'm trying to prepare a sheet with all the resources and all of the links to it. And I'm finding, and I want all articles that have something that's important in the case, that has some information about something. And it's been a very hard process to compile. I will tell you that. It's been very difficult, because everything is not structured the way that I'm accustomed to it being structured. So when I do searches, say on Google, I'm not getting the results that I should be getting for the keywords that I'm using. It's making it difficult, but all the pertinent stuff we've gotten a hold of, okay? So it's not like it's affecting anything that I'm doing behind the scenes, because I do have the full interview that's out there to the public for Malehya's interview. And then we have we don't have the full ones, because the mainstream media likes to cut, and make things look nice for their viewers. Instead of just giving the raw data. That's the one thing that I try to do here. Do I cut things down and make videos and make them look nice and stuff like that? Of course I do. Everybody in the business does that. But there are certain times and places that I believe the raw footage needs to be released in addition to their segment on the news or whatever. Those raw interviews that they possess and only they possess should be out there for the public, because let's face it, if they say something that they clipped out or missed or didn't realize was important, that might be important, somebody might be able to use that to help locate these children. So I wish that mainstream media, in addition to doing their TV segments, like on social media platforms, they release the raw footage of these interviews. That would be so beneficial and so helpful to the rest of us. But I understand why they don't. But again, it surely would be absolutely helpful. So it's nice to see everybody that's coming in. We're going to go ahead and just get started right now that I kind of did the Reader's Digest version of who Lilly and Jack are, the details of their case. They're missing. Law enforcement believes that they are no longer with us. They gave us that news earlier on in the case. We're at day 20. They still haven't been found, but this is the most suspect to me at this juncture of the case. The most suspect to me at this juncture of the case, 20 days in, is the lack of any items being found. Okay? even if the children wandered off, even if they decided that they needed some shade or shelter and crawled up under a shrubbery or whatever to sleep or what have you. Okay, whatever the case may be, the one thing that is really, really weighing on my mind on day 20 today, and the mom being super quiet. We're going to get into that, me and you. But the one thing, evidentiary wise, to support either the mom and or the stepfather's statement of accounts is the fact that there's not one item that has been found at all in it or around the home or out in that 5.5 kilometer area that they had provided as their search area. They've never found one item to attribute to either Jack or Lily in 20 days. That backpack, right? Never found the backpack. Never found their boots. Lily's boots or Jack's boots. Daniel expected that Jack would most likely have taken his pull-up diaper off at some point. No diaper has been found. So there are still a lot of things that we can attribute to them not, and I repeat, not walking into the forestry in and around their home. And it has to come back to the search and rescue efforts. Not one thing. These children are 6 years old and 4 years old, okay? If we could honestly have our 6-year-old children and our 4-year-old children not leave anything behind, we wouldn't, as parents, have to constantly be buying the same thing over and over and over again. But we know our children leave their lunch boxes, their jackets, and God forbid they stay the night at a friend's and you get half the stuff you sent back, right? So how are these children that have a potential mild case of autism, and again, that's undiagnosed, the parents kind of self-diagnose their own children. How are you going to have children that leave nothing, no evidence behind? And we have to go back to a well-known profiler, Pat Brown, and what does she say? She thinks that this is awfully odd that what all did she say? So we went there, because she corroborated a lot of the stuff that we were saying prior to that video, which is why I brought her up on the screen that day so you guys could hear about what she was believing. Now, I think everybody, and this is where our problem lies when it goes with Daniel, everybody is identifying, all the professionals are identifying that Daniel is hitting all the right boxes in the right areas. But there's still something that's just nagging with his statements. A few of the things that I've identified was the constantly jumping back and forth between past tense and present tense when talking about the children. We've all observed, if you've watched any interview with him, where he goes from talking like this to, to me, it seems a little extra. At the times that it's done, it seems extra because he never really cries. He only sounds like it. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that in one sentence, this is all in the same interview, in one sentence, he's saying he's running in front of the helicopters and drones and screaming their names so much that his voice hurts and is hoarse. But he was also waiting there for law enforcement to show up. Yes, it is off, Lisa. Where is Sebastian, Lily, Jack, Summer, and the rest of our missing children? Sick of these parents getting away with making these children disappear. I agree with you, but this case is just not. This case is a little different for me, in a lot of respects, because I follow the same patterns, the same procedures and policies from case to case. It keeps me, because I know that it's worked this long, and until something better comes along, I'm going to keep working the same strategy that I've always worked. And in this case, a lot may be attributed to these parents being in Canada, in a completely different country than I am. And I haven't done international searches for people. This is a very green area for me. And I think a lot of the stuff that we're accustomed to getting here in the United States, we're just lacking. For example, we're lacking on background information, historical background information, where these people lived, where were these people born, and the reason why I always look at background is I always try to find out where these people are the most comfortable. If you notice anything about me, I'm always looking for places of comfort when I'm looking at a subject that could be potentially responsible for a missing child, a missing person, or a death. I always look at their past, who they are as a person, what kind of trouble they've got into. Do they have any substance abuse, alcohol abuse, or violence abuse type of behaviors attributed to them? Or are they accustomed to being with those types of people? So those historical background information about these subjects, such as the mom, the stepfather, the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, that's information that's not readily available to us. Okay, we're kind of in a situation where I am truly, truly, truly at the mercy of the country of Canada in explaining this case, because there's so much information that we rely on that we cannot use. We don't have. Trying to dig into parents' past. We'll email if I find. Thank you, YouTuber. That would be amazing. That would be amazing, because this is where, this is a green area for. I've never done an international case before. So this is a learning process for me, along with my chat that are from the United States. We have people in our chat and are well known in the state, in the country of Canada, from different areas and provinces of Canada. But I have to think that there are people that can help, that understand stuff like this and can help guide us through the system. And if you are one of those people, please remember, anytime I'm stumped on a question or anything, you can always send the answer to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But that's just where we're at. Now, I was, doing research on here, and again, for me, it's hard. Maybe I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be. I don't know, okay? But the research of this case has been quite difficult for me. I've been working extra hard to try to locate any time Daniel has spoken. I've got the full interview that has been released to the public for Malehya, but it is all the Daniel interviews, because I want to analyze all of his statements that are out there to the public. So if you guys run across any interviews with Daniel, or you find any new interviews we haven't seen with Malehya, please send those to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But as part of my research, and many of you guys know, I adore Plunder. I haven't talked about her too much because
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Banfield.
We don't want you, Ashley. Sorry, we do not want you. We do not want you. Where's my history? Where is my history? Oh, good gracious. Where is Plunder? Let me find her. I'll just look her up. I hit a button and it took me off of her. But anyways, I was watching this, the latest video with...
Unresolved
with Plunder. And I absolutely adore Plunder, even though I haven't watched her related to any of the cases in the in the past, recent past. I do like her content. I like how thorough she is, and I like how much of a go-getter she is. She tries to get into these cases and get as much public information before it's shut down. Like in case, like for example, you can get a lot more public information for a runaway or a missing person, but as soon as that case turns to an investigation, all that information is cut off. So I like that she's very tenacious about getting a lot of the information up front when these cases are starting to break before they make that turn. And she's also does a lot of reviews on like Broadcastify and listening to dispatch calls and acquiring those dispatch calls, listening to them, taking the time and really understanding what she is hearing. So she's the one that's kind of spearheaded that project and has been putting that out to the public in bite-sized doses related to this. And I think I have some major questions because, we are kind of focusing or side-eyeing the parents, if you will, right? So we have the possibility of this house party, and maybe one of the people that showed up to this house party may have some type of hand in whatever happened in the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan. And maybe the parents were too hungover, and then when they finally got up, they realized the kids were gone, but thought they may have heard from them, yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know, you got 2 missing children. The parents don't know what happened. They think they left, but really a party goer did something before they left and took them with them. There are other alternatives here, and I want to make sure I stress that very, very much. Also, people are talking about, well, what if the parents were also hungover and the kids got up and went to school? Could we have a missing backpack? And while they were standing out there for their school bus, a stranger danger came and picked them up. Is there a possibility? Of course there's the possibility, but the probability is the lowest that it could possibly be. So the lowest probability of what happened to both of these children is a stranger danger event. The lowest probability is the stranger danger event. It's not that it's off the table or it has been removed as a possibility. It hasn't. It's just the lowest possibility that it could be. And when some more information develops that might give that a little more weight, it may move up on the list, but right now it's the lowest list. So I have to trust law enforcement in this respect in them saying that there is no evidence of any type of abduction. Now, will that change? It's been 20 days. If there was any evidence would have already been brought up to us, and that would have been, an Amber Alert would have been issued. So now we know that stuff has been processed. We know that they've gotten data information back. They've done their investigative work with what they can get back on however Canada does their laws. So we know that they have some information, okay? But my problem is timing is everything. Wouldn't we agree when you have a missing child, timing is everything? Wouldn't you agree that when we're discussing a case that involves 2 underage, very young children, 6 and 4, timing is everything. When those reports were called in, timing is everything. When the last time the children were seen, timing is everything, right? So I'm going to play some segment of it. It's going to be about 4 minutes of this Plunder, and this happened. She released this about 11 hours ago. I'm not playing the whole thing. I recommend everybody going over to Plunder and watching it. But the part that I'm bringing to you is this whole situation of when did that 911 call actually get called in? Because we're all saying 9:50, but is that plausible? Could it have come in even later than that? And that's where my issue raises, is right there. Like, what time did this call Because we know, according to the dispatch calls, whoever was speaking to law enforcement, whether it was Malehya or whether it was Daniel, somebody had told law enforcement these children were seen in the flesh at 8 a.m. that morning. So even at 9:50, a call coming in, that's almost 2 hours after somebody laid eyes on those children, and that's if we believe the statement of either one of the parents. We have no reason to disbelieve them at this point other than our suspicion, okay? We have no concrete evidence that these parents have ever lied before. We have nothing, okay? Despite what you think, and until somebody can produce to me something, we have no reason to distrust these people we've never met nor had a conversation with, right? We don't know who these people are. And even if they have terrible backgrounds, it doesn't mean they're terrible people. But things don't make sense, and it's making a lot of us look squarely at them. And I have to believe that there are reasons. And some of those reasons are right here. Some of those reasons are right here. Because when we have 6 and 4-year-olds disappearing, and it possibly taking almost 2 hours to call that into law enforcement, and then we find out that there's a possibility that it even took longer than that, it doesn't look good on the mom or the stepfather or the grandmother or whoever else was out on that property that day before they made that 911 call. We never heard them go over and talk. Nobody ever said, hey, we went over to my mom's house to see if they saw him, right? She's in that camper. Why did they do that? We've never heard them make mention of any other person living on that property until we heard that his mother kicked Malehya and her family off the property. So when did this time come in? Because timing is everything. Let's listen to Plunder.
First few critical hours of May 2nd, early that morning, what was the first thing I heard on the dispatch audio?
Numbers go ahead here. Foster here. Just speaking with Glenn. Are you able to authorize and start getting some search teams going to the Garlock location while we try them?
So that part, can we get some teams going to the Garlock? And they were talking about the property, right? That action, that request came in at 10:44 a.m. So if we were to believe that the mom and stepfather called law enforcement at 9:50, law enforcement still has not started the search almost an hour later. Does that make sense? I mean, I really don't know. I don't want to imply something over a situation that I might be misassessing. For example, how long does it take law enforcement to get to their home? Right? How long does it take for law enforcement from the time you go ring, ring, ring? Hi, you've called 911. What's your emergency? Do you need fire, police, or ambulance? I'm not a dispatch caller person, so I don't know what they say. Right? Oh my gosh, I've got a missing kid. How long does it take from that call to the time that they're getting the information, reporting it to law enforcement, for law enforcement to come to the house? Because when they're requesting for search and ground stuff to start, being requested, getting people out there to the Garlock property, that was at 10:44. Wouldn't that imply that that means the 911 call could have come in much later than 9:50? Like maybe around 10:30? The one thing I don't like is that, one thing I love about this is they're giving us a lot of transparency, a lot more transparency than we've seen in a long time. We haven't seen transparency close to this. Now, it's not quite to the level of Idaho 4, I will tell you that, but it's definitely not Sumner County, right? And so we're getting some public information reports, press releases about where they're at, what they've done, where they're going. We've seen pictures of them out there in action. We've seen the ground searches going on in Canada. We've witnessed all of this stuff going on in Canada and them not giving up the fight for Lilly and Jack, but still haven't been able to acquire one piece of evidence out there in all of this searching. Not one scintilla of a hair, a fiber from their clothes, a sock, a boot, a backpack, nothing? Nothing? Hey, Jennifer, thank you so much for the super chat. Nothing? I just find that really odd. And then you couple that with the possibility of a 911 call coming in later. Now, I'd like to clarify that because we have to understand what we're hearing, right? We're hearing that they're in Lansdowne Station in Nova Scotia, Canada, and that they're in a rural part. Now, a lot of people ask me all the time, why does anybody need a pew-pew? And I tell them all the time, because you're so accustomed to being in a city, you're not accustomed to being out in the country. And sometimes out in the country, you don't have time to wait for first responders or law enforcement because it takes too long to get to you in an emergency type of situation, and you are required to defend yourself. Okay? That's why. So the reason I'm giving you that background is because did this take longer for them to get out there because of their location? We need to ask the right questions. We just can't assume that, because it's 10:44 that the call just came in. So I'm on the fence with this. If somebody's in Nova Scotia or knows this area from maybe New Glasgow or Lansdowne Station, if you guys could send me some information about, law enforcement out there, how long it takes for law enforcement. If you know this information or have any idea, please send that information to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I'm trying to learn, okay, because I don't have the answers. I don't know where to find the answers. All I can do is press upon our Canadian family members of the coffee club to kind of help guide us through this process. But what we do know is we have 2 young children. Lily is 6, Jack is 4, missing from their home off Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, Canada. We know that they disappeared on May 2nd. I want to retract that. We know that they were reported missing on May 2nd. There's a lot of stuff that leaves me to believe that has not been settled in my gut about this whole situation of them not being seen by a third party since Tuesday. That is problematic for me, no matter how you look at it. Think about it. When you have vacation or a time off or time where your children are home, what do you typically do, especially if you're an at-home mom? You want to tire and wear your children out, no? You wouldn't want to go out and take them to a park when you know they have a day off. You wouldn't want to take them and do something special, like if they like to fish or like to go camping or like to hiking. You wouldn't take them that Wednesday when they had a day off of school and did something fun with your young children. Maybe it's a day that you just want to do some spring cleaning and house cleaning and you just want the kids to go outside and play in the yard. I get that. But we're not hearing any of those scenarios happening. We don't even know what happened to the children. We know that their bus driver talks about dropping them off Tuesday afternoon. That's it. Everything else, much like the Sebastian Rogers case, much like the Summer Wells case, we're left to the statements of the people that may have done something to these children. And that's not a very comfortable place because I like things that can be corroborated. I like things that can be put in the fact column instead of the I don't know column, right? In my opinion, she didn't want the responsibility of 3 kids, so I not think Daniel even knew. And we have to remember, she has a 16-month-old child. There may be some other mental things that are happening inside her body, such as postpartum depression. And could that have had an effect? It's possible. Because like I said on my show, if you guys haven't been over there, Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories, I did a live this morning and had a conversation with the chat about the Lilly and Jack case. And one of the things that I noticed, especially all the photos that I was able to preview on Malehya's Facebook page, or Malehya's Facebook page. I think it's Malehya. I think I had it right the first time, Malehya. Malehya's Facebook page. They're all from 2021 and 2022. Now, this could be attributed to a couple of different things. One, we know, hey, Hobo's Life, thank you. Good morning, BHB and Coffee Club. Missed everyone. Aw, hugs and kisses to you too, Love Bug. I believe they got into drugs that were left out, bringing them home, giving them dignified resting. Yeah, I agree. That's kind of, hey, reach for the sky. Common sense, I'm kind of right there with you, because when you look at these, there's certain things I'm accustomed, not that I'm right 100% of the time, but there are just certain things that I'm accustomed to seeing. When I deal with some of these really poor families, a couple of the things are lack of photos, right? When you have lack of photos of the children, it makes you feel some type of way, especially in today's society where, taking photos, or you take your camera with you, you take your phone with you, you take your TV with you. We have smartphones this day. It literally is all in one type of thing. The only thing the damn thing can't do is beam us up to Scotty and print paper right from the phone, right? We can print it to a printer, but we can't print it from the phone, right? So our phones go with us everywhere. And so one of the main things is lack of photos of your children. That's always, to me, this day and age, red flaggish, okay? The next thing is these photos are from several years ago, okay? Several years ago, 2021, 2022. You're talking about 2 to 3 years ago. So we're looking at photos that was when Daniel first got in their lives and probably wasn't in a lot of the photos. Well, all the photos from 2023, 2024, and the first part of 2025 prior to these children disappearing, everything's missing. Everything's missing. So it makes you wonder, did she remove him because Daniel was in the photo? She really, really, really hates Daniel. And she's wanting to make sure that it's publicly noticed that she wants nothing to do with him, has blocked him, has broke up with him, has changed a relationship status, has removed any photo that he could possibly be in on her channel, any photo where he was with her children. She's removed all of them. And that's also what is leading me to believe that there was this accident. And it makes me believe that Daniel didn't do something he was supposed to do, whatever it was, and she blames him for these children's deaths. But she was with him the entire time. So we have a problem there. He wasn't a lone actor, and that's what keeps leading me to believe that this was a terrible accident, and she was trying to keep it together. But I think the publicity I think it was a gut punch to her. I don't think she can hold her stuff together, and I think she knows what happened. I don't think she intended for what to happen to them, and I think she may have been under the influence, and I think Daniel may have talked her into doing something else so they could try to mask responsibility potentially. But again, that is one of many theories. We still have the theory for the house party. We still have the theory for them being abducted. Again, the abduction theory, I'm not really focusing too much on it because law enforcement is not focusing too much on it. They are past the point where if they were to have anything to support an abduction, they would have had it by now. I could be wrong, but didn't LE News report say the grandmother heard the kids that morning. I don't know where 911 dispatch is, but the time zone could be a factor, being close. One. I need to find if anybody knows where I did hear that the grandmother did break her silence. If anybody has that interview, please send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I haven't heard whether the grandmother's heard the kids that morning or not. That would be the first for me, Mike. So if you read it or seen it, or you come across it again, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. This is the first I'm hearing about it, but it's very interesting. I would like to hear the statement from the grandmother. To pin it on Daniel, that's why she left. No matters, she was kicked off the property, but she changed to single right away. Equal, ready to get out of town with a new look. Oh yeah, I guess that could be potential. But when I look at those photos and I look at her holding her children and stuff like that, she's proud. Like, that's the part. Now, granted, this was 3 years ago. We know addiction. She may have been struggling then, but not full-fledged addicted. Might be one way to look at it, but we don't know these people. We're assuming they're addicted because there were substances found in the house, and we're hearing rumors from other people in the area that they were these addicts. I personally don't know if that's true. I don't know these people. You personally don't know if that's true. We don't know these people. But we also know that if it is true, it is a progressive disease. That means in 2021, they may have been a happy, when all these photos were taken, they may have been a happy, healthy family at that time, but, diddling in the substances only on the weekends. And maybe that ended up turning out to be every few day thing. Maybe it turned out to be starting to becoming an everyday thing. These things are progressive. So, the happiness we're observing way back then, is that truly what the reality is when they disappeared on May 2nd? We don't know, because she deleted all the information. And I find that suspect, because you're wanting the world to help you find your children, and you're wanting them to believe your story, but you're showing that you feel guilty about something. What does Malehya feel guilty about? I don't know. Let's listen to a little more of this from Plunder.
Okay, the G-Star Commander.
And I caught a few more things that previously I had kind of glossed over or even kind of totally missed. In this case, if you're not familiar, there is 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan. She's missing along with her brother, 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. They've been missing reportedly since May 2nd. Police received a 911 call from their mom saying that this young boy and this young girl had just wandered away from their home. It's a road in Canada in Nova Scotia called Garlock Road. It's a lot of greenery, country, treacherous land out there. The nearest neighbor is definitely not just 100 feet away. I went back to the basics and, pulled down all that audio, raw audio from May 2nd again.
Cat 7, I read that call through SRCC there to get the EO. Head that way.
Yeah, we just gave him the directions. That's 1407 Airlock Road in Lansdowne.
Copy that.
I pulled down, downloaded all that raw audio again, and I'm surprised that the first mention of anything about this missing case was at 10:44 a.m. on May 2nd. Specifically, I was looking for all the instances of when 8 a.m. was mentioned. And surprisingly, I heard it mentioned once again twice. I started thinking about the context in which the 8 a.m. or 8 o'clock times were said. I feel like the first seeds of doubt were planted really early on in the minds of some up there who maybe just did not believe this story of this mom and stepdad, or maybe they just had a gut feeling, like investigators or searchers often do. I did catch a video
you need to hear
recently
this.
of Daniel Martell, and for the first time I heard him say Malehya's name. Malehya, that's how he pronounces it. I'm gonna listen again.
It fills me with a lot of hope, seeing drones in the sky and seeing people back hard at work. This is absolutely heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking, not just for me and Malehya.
So I was glad to hear Daniel say Malehya's name. So now we know how to pronounce her name. Daniel was saying how he felt about the search resuming. He said it fills me with a lot of hope, seeing drones in the sky and seeing people back hard at work. This is absolutely heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking, not just for me and Malehya and the families, but it's heartbreaking for all of Pictou County. He's commenting on how everyone is just latched on to Jack and Lily, and we're just wondering all these days later, where could they be? But in listening to this dispatch again, slower, and I'll put it all at the end, the first few hours so you can hear it for yourself, I left a little bit more of the audio in this time.
Okay,
Previously, when I was
She's going on about the audio that she's going to say. So that's the crux of the conversation, is if they're not calling for searches until 10:44, almost an hour after what we knew that they called law enforcement, what is the purpose of that? Did she call later than what she told the people she called? Could she have called closer to 10:30 and not 9:50? Because there's some discrepancies here in the call, and it's important. Because, like, somebody just said that they believe she got up and got her, why else with the backpack? Well, I could think of a lot of reasons for the backpack. We have to remember that these children haven't been seen by a third party that we know of other than the bus driver on Tuesday. So what could have happened is they could have had a house party on Wednesday. Something happened to the children. They took the children somewhere, and then they realized, wait, nothing's missing. And they could have grabbed the boots and stuck in the backpack and took the backpack out and tossed the backpack. There's a lot of things that could, because we have to try to incorporate this backpack. And one of those theories could be the stranger danger. She got her child, her brother up to get him ready for school. Mom and stepdad were passed out from being under the influence the night before, yada, yada, yada. It could be a number of reasons, but because nothing has been found from a 6 and a 4-year-old in the woods, there's more to the story. Because we watch over and over again, even in the state of Tennessee, the people that are lost, that are truly lost, get found. The people that aren't truly lost never get found. Sometimes they are found later, and parents or other partners, spouses are arrested. But until they're found, there's nothing that can be done. Now, the deception detective, when I reviewed some of his most recent video on this particular case, he believes there may be some truth to law enforcement using this as a strategy to pause the search, see if there's any odd behaviors from the mom or the other individuals in and around the child, as a strategy, and then pick up or resume the searching. He couldn't make heads or tails whether that's truly a fact, but it is a theory that can be thrown out there. Is this a strategy? I don't know. But I would like to start seeing my emails start being more voluminous on this topic of Lilly and Jack. So if you guys see anything about the Lilly and Jack case, please send it over to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you hear any interviews, send it over to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. If you hear of any podcasts that have interesting information, please find the marker. That's the time, 1 hour, 52 seconds, and 23 hundredths of a second. Let me know where in the video it is so I can go and preview it. I greatly appreciate that. But we are doing our investigation now. So if you guys are finding information that is perking your curiosity that might help enlighten me, please send that over. If you're from Canada and have an understanding of law enforcement processes, please email it to me, bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Anything you see on this case, any theories that you have, any speculation, anything that you think that could help me explaining this case to my audience, send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com. You guys see the theme here? Anything and everything. Send it to where? bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Where? bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Just to make sure you guys understood. So let me know your theories. Let me know your suggestions. Give me speculate. Email me where you're thinking this, because I need different perspectives so I can talk and explain all those different perspectives. And the emails are just not coming in enough. So please send me some emails. Let me know what you're thinking. If you guys come across an article that's interesting, send it. A video that's interesting, send it. An interview, send it. Send it. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Oh, I forgot. Let me go over here because I know there were several people and I missed a lot of you guys, so I want to go through here again. Melanie sent me $2 for my cuss jar. Thank you. Phoenix Moon is the newest member to the crazy family we call the Coffee Club. Melanie gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. YouTubers trying to dig in will let us know. Jennifer Jones, thank you for the super chat. Hobo's Life, thank you for the super chat. Saying good morning, BHB. Coffee Club, missed everyone. And our beautiful Lisa B always says, I love the Coffee Club mods and Bullhorn Betty. Well, we love you as well. So thank you all for all of those, all the support and the love that you do and give me on this channel. And I do truly, truly appreciate it. So rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. All right, guys. God bless you. We will see you soon. And do not forget to sub up to Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. You never know when I'm dropping a bombshell on that channel. So stay tuned. We'll be back.